Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review for World War Z. Alright, so my apologies that I am late with this review. Ideally, I wanted to get the review done and go see it opening day, but of course, as you guys know, my subscribers, that the basement flooded, so I've been dealing with a huge mess. I've not been able to see it until finally today, and finally got a chance to review it. Plus, there's lots of other stuff going on, lots of other videos I've been making on different topics. Still have lots more coming as well, too. Hope you guys have been enjoying the extra videos I've been putting out lately. But this is one that I definitely had to review as soon as possible and get up as soon as possible because I've been looking forward to the movie for so long. The idea of having Max Brooks' novel turned into a movie, even though it's not an exact interpretation. I mean, you have a huge amount of differences between the movie and the book. You have the addition of Gerry Lane as a character, who is Brad Pitt's character. The main character for the movie is a retired UN worker who basically is put in the task, given the task of trying to figure out what the heck is going on and what they can do about it. And if there's anything they can do, maybe some kind of cure or something of the sort. And it takes a different approach than most zombie movies do. Most zombie movies are all about survival. Okay, and this one, I mean, there is, obviously survival is key. You have to survive if you want to do anything useful. But this one takes an interesting approach because not only are we dealing with characters that are trying to survive a zombie apocalypse, but at the same time, because he's a UN worker, Gerry, Brad Pitt's character, he's also actually trying to do some good and benefit the world to help them fight back against the zombie apocalypse, or do the best they can to fight back, even though it may seem futile at certain points. I'll try to keep these spoilers for the movie minimal, so people who have seen the movie will understand the things I'm saying. People who haven't, I'll try not to ruin it for you or anything like that. There are, and with what I was saying earlier about them not just having this to be a survival horror, where they're just trying to survive all the time and they're actually trying to fight back, we do get to see some progress with that, which is exciting to see by the end of the movie. And it also makes Gerry look like such a cool character because he's actually been able to figure out a few things and find some kind of a solution by the end of the movie, which is illustrated pretty well, I think, in some of the final scenes with some of the walkers or zombies. Like there's this one in particular, a doctor type zombie, and he's got the teeth thing, and he keeps like that. And it's pretty freaky, man. There's a lot of really thrilling and freaky moments in this movie. A lot of different scenes that will scare you. I mean, even if you've seen a lot of zombie stuff before, if you've seen The Walking Dead all the way through, if you've seen some of the older zombie movies from Romero or 28 Days Later, or anything of the sort, it's still got its own thing. It's very unique. It's not really like the others. In terms of the style of zombies they went with in this one, they decided to go with the 28 Days Later. They're zombies, but they're more like crazies. They get infected and they go berserk, like 28 Days Later. They will sprint. They're sprinting zombies, super fast, like just as fast as, or maybe even faster than regular human beings, healthy human beings. And at which point, in this, for the most part, that's good, and I like that because it is freaky, especially when they start to turn and they start to go into spasms and stuff like this, like muscle spasms and stuff. And like I was saying earlier with the jaw thing, which a lot of them have. And there's some really freaky zombies in this one, like just particular ones that are like, whoa, scare you quite a bit. So in terms of the zombies, for the most part I liked it, but there are some things about them that I have to say that are negative, that are really strange. For example, you have walkers that are jumping and leaping and lunging at people, you know, like Spider-Man. And I wish that was an exaggeration. Some of them look like Spider-Man. They really do, because they're done in CG. They're jumping and they're lunging at people, and they're climbing up walls and stuff, and then you have others that are climbing on behind them. You have giant zombie balls rolling, and you have all kinds of just like zoomed out crazy amounts of walkers done in CG chaos, them toppling over a bus and climbing up this huge wall on top of each other, jumping and leaping and twisting and sprinting and jumping off a building after a helicopter, which by the way I do like, because if you think about it, yeah, they probably would do that, wouldn't they, if they saw food. I haven't seen that done in another zombie movie or show or anything, but if they saw a helicopter go up, they would probably go right off the building to try to get it, which I did enjoy that part of it. But in terms of the jumping and leaping and grabbing and all of these things, the Spider-Man zombies, I don't like that. I did not like the Spider-Man zombies. The weakest part is when they're in Israel, and the Israelis have built a huge border around an area, safe zone area, and you have a ton of CG zombies that have traversed this humongous wall that must be probably like 60 feet high or more, and they have done so by climbing on top of each other. So one will hit the wall and the other one will climb up, and then the others will climb up on top, and there's several sections, like there's two or three sections of this happening, and then they come over the wall and they all fall down. Now, in terms of effects and stuff, I guess aesthetically it's cool, it's like, oh, it's freaky and it's cool and stuff like that, but it's like, that wouldn't happen. Like, how is that possible? You know, I mean, that's not feasible. That's not feasible. I'm sorry. Spider-Man zombies climbing a huge wall like that, like 60 to 100 foot wall, it doesn't make sense. Whoever decided to do that, I'd have to say, yes, it looks cool, but you should have found another way to do that. You should have had them break down a gate or something, or somebody become infected inside and it just spread like crazy. So there is a lot of CG with the zombies that is really off in this movie, and that is a negative side to it for me anyway. Where you have, you know, the sprinting 28 days later, crazy infected zombies, and then you have, you know, the Spider-Man ones mixed in as if they aren't fast enough and deadly enough. Now you've got them jumping off stuff, climbing up stuff, traversing, you know, huge walls and stuff like this. It's like, as if it wasn't hard enough to survive in this zombie apocalypse, you've got Spider-Man zombies. So that is something where it's like, this is the type of zombie apocalypse that realistically you just can't picture anybody surviving. Because of the speed of the zombies, because of their ferocity, because of their athleticism, it's just like, how could anybody survive in this kind of zombie apocalypse? Realistically, nobody could. You know, you couldn't. Brad Pitt's character, any of these characters, the military, whatever, you wouldn't. It's not possible to win in this type of a zombie apocalypse, I would have to say. I mean, movie logic wise, yeah, you know, but realistically, those kind of walkers, how are you gonna? It's not possible. You couldn't even barely fight off two. You wouldn't be able to fight off two or three by yourself with unless you had like an M16 or something, like a huge gun. If you just had like hand-to-hand, for example, we're used to seeing in The Walking Dead, where you'll have a character and they'll use, I don't know, a machete or something, and they'll be taking down walkers, or you'll have Michonne with her sword, and she'll be taking down 2 or 3 or 4 walkers at once. In this, that would not happen. You put Michonne in World War Z's zombies, and you have Spider-Man zombies flipping all over the place, she's tough with her sword, but she's got no chance. You know, one will be in front, she'll cut that one, but before she knows it, the other 2 or 3 will be on top of her biting her, you know, just because of how crazy they are. One would do a backflip and come down and bite her on the neck or something. You know, it's just, it's like, it would not be possible to survive in this. So that's a negative thing I think about it, even though it is really freaky and really scary because of how dangerous the walkers are in World War Z. It's not realistic. Nobody would be able to survive in that world, period. I'm sorry to say. However, it does make it really scary, and there's a lot of, you know, fast scenes where it's really dark and the camera work is really interesting, and you have like a staircase, which reminds me of 28 Days Later, where they have the staircase where they're coming up, and he meets the main character, played by the guy that played Scarecrow in in the Dark Knight trilogy. I forget his name. Black hair and he wears glasses in Dark Knight. He's running up, Cillian Murphy, that's it. He's running up the steps, and you've got the guy with the SWAT gear that blocks a couple walkers and hits them off the staircase. In this, we have something kind of similar where they're being chased and they're running up a staircase. It's really dark, and you have the crazy Spider-Man walkers chasing after him. And so that's really exciting. There's a lot of scenes like that. Plus, we do care for Gerry. We do care for our lead character because he's got a family. He wants to keep his family safe, and obviously Brad Pitt's a great actor, so it adds a lot of credibility to the role and to the movie. And I liked everything to do with him as a character. I thought Gerry is a great character. He's one of the more memorable zombie movie survivors that we've ever had. Because a lot of the old Romero films and stuff, you know, a lot of the characters you might not even remember, like the survivors. But for him, you definitely will remember him. He's a really special character in zombie apocalypse movies. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to see a character like that. Also to see like a worldwide, to have different cities and see it from this perspective. We've never seen that before. We've never had a zombie apocalypse in a movie or show or anything where we see it from the perspective of somebody that's part of the UN and is, you know, on an aircraft carrier at certain parts and is trying to work towards somehow fighting back against this thing. So that's an interesting take on it, and you know, I enjoy that. I enjoyed the character, I enjoyed the storyline, I enjoy the plot for the most part, and it is thrilling. It's very scary too, and even I've seen tons of zombie stuff, and this one scares me a lot like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and a lot of it, the themes and his solution near the end of the movie, it feels like it fits in the world of 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, especially because in that movie, in 28 Weeks Later, you have the kid who's immune, you have certain, you know, people like that. And this, World War Z, seems to take after that. Whereas in other zombie stuff, Romero stuff, and things like that, you never had an indication that there was people that were immune to the virus, that people were able to blend in and walkers wouldn't attack them. You never had that indication in any other zombie movie aside from 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and now World War Z. So I would say that World War Z fits in with that, with the fast zombies, 28 Days Later established type of zombie genre in between which type of zombies are we dealing with. It's the fast zombies, it's those 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later type world. It fits with that. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I want to say about the walkers. Gerry is a character, great character. Movie, good plot. The visuals are pretty good except for the CG exaggerations, which I was talking about earlier. Aside from those, everything else is beautiful. There's some amazing scenes and stuff that we've never seen at this kind of budget in any kind of zombie apocalypse movie before it. So that's really cool to see a lot of those. And I did heavily enjoy World War Z. In terms of score, I was going to give it a 9 originally, but all the weird zombie stuff, I had to take it down a little bit because that did take me out of the experience with the CG. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It is one of the better zombie movies that we've had, period. If you want to compare it to some of the others, I would say it's on the same scale as like 28 Days Later. Is it as good as 28 Days Later? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it's better than 28 Weeks Later, that's for sure. 28 Days Later, though, I want to say no. I think 28 Days Later is at least I like it better. Now, people may disagree with me because this one's new. That happens a lot when something is released is new and you have Brad Pitt in it. People are going to say, "Oh no, that's way better." But for me personally, I think 28 Days Later is probably a better fast zombie movie. This is probably better than the remake of Dawn of the Dead with fast zombies. I would say so. And in terms of the old Romero films, it's hard to compare because those are slow zombies. So you could have one person that could actually survive and kill 30, 40, 50, 100 of those slow zombies over time. Whereas in this, that wouldn't fly at all. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about World War Z. It wasn't a disappointment to me at all. I enjoyed it a lot. It had some really unique new elements that we've never seen before in a zombie movie brought forward to us. And for me, this might be the best zombie movie, or one of the best zombie movies, if it wasn't for the CG exaggerated Spider-Man zombies. That's pretty much all I want to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For more video suggestions, please write them below. Lots more zombie videos. I do, of course, for The Walking Dead and all those others. And can you compare us to The Walking Dead? You can't really. I mean, it's a TV series, comic book series. It's about survival. It's done on that scale. This is a World War type thing where you have characters that are actually trying to fight back against it. And you have totally different types of zombies. You have fast walkers instead of slow ones, doing backflips and crazy stuff. You know, you can't really compare the both of them. They're totally different, even though they're both zombie apocalypse stuff. And by the way, they may be doing a World War Z sequel. So if there's any more news about that, I'll definitely do a video on that, because I would like to see a sequel. I love this type of genre. I love 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and World War Z. Not a disappointment at all, and did enjoy it very much. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'll call it here. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.